morning, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. How y'all doing? It is Sunday morning, time for Cruise Chat Live, where we do our very best to answer your questions about all things cruising. If you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel agent with Where's Walter Travel, as always, joined by my lovely wife, Rebecca, right off camera. And we're going to spend about the next hour trying to answer your questions. And I invite you to like, subscribe, share, do all those fabulous things that social media likes you to do. And if you have questions about all things cruising, please do go ahead and reach out, and we'll do our very, very best to get the answers. Brandy's here. Ocean, hey, how you doing? Ohio, hello, Ohio. Sue's here. Kurt, Sue and Phil, Becky, Eric. Hey, Eric, how you doing? You're in Barcelona. I love that. Eric is joining us live from Barcelona on the Norwegian Prima, day 3 of 26 on that ship. Man, Eric, you are going to have an amazingly great time.
Have some tapas for us.
Oh, have some tapas, Rebecca just said. There you go. Tammy D is here. Nurse Tara. John, how you doing? You'll be online for a little bit, and then the Bills are playing. Oh, good luck to your Buffalo Bills. Peggy, Macrina. Hi, everybody. Benny's here. Hello. Good to see everybody. Welcome to the show. Hey, if you're new to the channel, this is 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half of Cruise Chat, where we do our very best to try to answer your questions about all things cruising, cruise related, even travel related. This is a safe space, so no dumb questions. The only dumb questions are the ones that you don't ask. And the voice that you will hear off camera is my lovely wife, Rebecca, who is my partner in crime at Where's Walter Travel. We've just celebrated 2 years as a travel agency. We are currently now in the top 30 of KHM Travel Group, which is the travel group that we're a part of. We're very proud of that, and we're very proud of the fact that you all have allowed us to be part of your vacation. So thank you very, very much. Hey, Mary, how you doing? And before I forget, because I always forget, to remind you guys, on Thursday nights, we do invite travel partners to come on the show and give you some great information about the various cruise lines and the travel partners and all of that. Last Thursday night, we had Explora Journeys. If you want to know about Explora Journeys, that new luxury brand, definitely go check out our YouTube channel. Go watch that replay. It was a fabulous hour. But this coming Thursday night, we're going to have Azamara Cruises coming on, which is perfect, because we're about to go on Explora and Azamara back-to-back in December. So that's going to be amazing. But this coming Thursday night, Sarah from Azamara will be joining us at 8 o'clock Eastern time on our YouTube channel. If you want to learn more about Azamara and that really cool luxury cruise line, definitely tune in on Thursday night. So Tammy D, you're looking forward to the Regal Princess on December 1st. Hopefully everything will be fixed. Now, hopefully, the Regal Princess will be fixed by then. That is quite the situation going on over there. I'm thinking that minor fire that was in the engine room during the transatlantic was a little more serious than they expected. For those who don't know, the Regal Princess is currently in Galveston. That's her new home port. And during the transatlantic, she had a couple of issues, including what was termed a minor fire in the engine room. And then she lost power for a little bit too, very briefly. So they've been working on that ship. They've canceled 2 cruises in a row. Now they canceled a 3rd cruise. And hopefully they're going to get that fixed soon, because it would be really nice to see that Regal Princess get out and going. And I would love to see Tammy get on that ship. So I hope it gets going. So especially for you guys. Hey, good morning, Scott. John has 85 days to the Prima. We got user 471, Icon, Eastern Caribbean on the 25th. Nice. Gary in Arizona, what a great question. Have we been on Margaritaville? Yes, we've been on the Islander, and we had an absolutely fabulous time. So the Islander is the newer, bigger ship that is based in Tampa Bay. In fact, not only have we been on it, but we have an amazing group cruise happening for Valentine's Day. We have about 150 plus people now joining us for Valentine's Day. We're going to have a vow renewal and all of that, February 11th through the 17th on the Margaritaville Islander. So the Islander is a great ship. It's a fun ship, is what it is. It's kind of a little bit of a throwback to when, maybe say 15, 20 years ago. I don't want to say it's no frills. It's not no frills, but it's a very laid back kind of a vibe. They did a beautiful job renovating the ship. They sent the ship in for about 5 months of dry and wet dock back in end of the year, early January. and she's a lovely ship. The cabins translated beautifully from the renderings to the real thing. The crew is fabulous. The cheeseburgers are righteous. They are really, really good. The pizza's great. The main dining room really came on strong. We were on there for the preview and the inaugural, so everybody still, like literally the crew had been picked up like a couple of days before we came on board. So it was remarkable how good the service was. I'm actually taking a corporate group on the ship on January 28th. So I'll be going back on January 28th, and then February 11th through the 17th, we have a fabulous group cruise that's going to be sailing on the Margaritaville Islander if you want to come with us. So it's a fun ship. It really is a fun ship. Is it the best cruise in the world? No, and they don't try to be. They just try to be themselves. They got great shows. The pools are great. The blending of the original Costa design and the Margaritaville design really worked out well. So absolutely lovely ship. So yeah, I encourage you to get out there. Plus,
bear in mind the Paradise out of West Palm is an entirely different.
Well, it's a different story, and they're unapologetic about it. You know, the Paradise did not launch well. They have taken it back in. They've done work on it, and by all accounts, the ship is better than it was. But, you know, they're like, look, the ship is what it is, and we are unapologetic about it, and there are fans of that ship. So if you just want a two-nighter, you go to West Palm, or a four-nighter, you go to West Palm. But the Islander is going to be doing up to 7 nights starting this year. So it'll be great. It'll be a lot of fun. So it's a fun cruise, and it's a low-cost cruise. So, you know, definitely try it. Definitely try it out. So, but what do I suggest for somebody who's never been on a cruise? Well, number one, and this is not just because I'm a travel agent, but number one, work with a travel agent, because navigating all the different cruise lines, the different cruise ships, what's included, what's not included, what you can pay extra for, what are the staterooms like, what are the ships like. There is a lot, you know, 325, 345 cruise ships out there right now. So number one, work with a travel agent, because what we do is we match you up. We figure out what do you like, what are you expecting, you know, what's important to you, and then we match you up with the right ship. Because the other part of the story is, depending on where you want to sail out of, where you want to go, and when you want to sail, there's only a finite number of ships available. So even though, you know, ship XYZ might be the perfect ship for you, it's in the Mediterranean and you want to go to the Caribbean, so we got to find you another ship. And it sounds weird, but I always recommend people go on a 7-night cruise to start with. You know, some people, start with a 3, start with a 4. 3-nighters tend to be booze cruises. They tend to be party cruises. So if that's what you're looking for, yeah, especially if they're over the weekend. So if that's what you're looking for, then great, then go for it. But if you want to see what the real cruise experience is like, I recommend a 7-nighter. And again, work with a travel agent, because there are so many different cruise lines. And even within those cruise lines, like Royal Caribbean, Carnival, they have over 20 ships each. I think Norwegian has over 20 ships. So even within the fleet, you're going to get a different experience. You know, people just say, well, go on Royal Caribbean, and you go on the smallest ship. You might be like, well, where was the ice skating rink? Where was the flow rider? Where was all this stuff that I see? It's on other ships. So that would be my first. So first of all, work with a travel agent, and second of all, I always recommend 7 nights for your first cruise, so you can really get the experience of what a cruise is like. Obviously, you know, our services are 100% free. If you'd like to work with us, you're watching me on TikTok. There's links in my bio, or just go to where'swaltertravel.com. Anywhere else you're watching me, there's links in the description. But, you know, find a travel advisor, find a travel agent, and make sure they don't charge for their services. You know, we don't charge for our services. Some do. So make sure they don't charge for your services. So this way there's no risk to you. So, yeah. Hey, good morning, Living Lavo, maybe? Sorry, I may have gotten that wrong. Question from Alex. When is the best time to book late 2026, early 2027 bookings? Now or during the wave season that's coming up in a little while? Well, you know, in general, the best pricing has been when the itineraries drop now. That's like the new thing. It used to be a Lavoie. Thank you for the. That's perfect. Now I know how to say it. It's Living Lavoie. Love it. But, you know, lately, the cruise lines have been rewarding everybody for bookings when the bookings open. With most of the cruise lines, especially when you work with a travel agent, it almost doesn't matter when you book, because if the rate drops on most cruise lines, then I just simply go in and I adjust it. I mean, I have somebody who booked the Star of the Seas. Oh, what did we book that? Like 6 months ago or something like that. And I've already adjusted his rate 3 times. The price has dropped 3 times. So I've just gone in and adjusted it 3 times. So when you work with a travel agent, it's a lot less risky as to when you book it. Now, there are certain cruise lines that don't allow that. Like Virgin Voyages, you actually have to cancel your booking and rebook. And that means that, like, let's say you had a $500 bar tab at the original booking, but there's no more $500 bar tab. You're going to lose it when we rebook. But, that's something to talk about, with a travel agent, a travel advisor. Hey, Silver Librarian. Kurt is saying that the Black Friday sales don't really seem like deals. I mean, keep in mind, this is pre-Black Friday right now. This is not Black Friday. Everybody's trying to get in advance. Pretty soon, pre-Black Friday will be before Halloween. I guarantee you that's going to happen. In fact, I think somebody did. Do like a Black Friday weekend tease or something like that. But yeah, the cruise lines are going to offer deals, but they're also not going to give anything away. Cruising is still white hot, so they're not going to give anything away. So whether it's a good deal or not, well, that just depends on what you're looking for, and the specific itineraries too. So when itineraries are light, like meaning they're behind projections, they're not selling as well as they'd like it to, those are the ones that are going to get the better deals. If the cruise is hitting projections and it's right where they want it to be, it's not going to be as good of a deal. It's just like everything else. So
the biggest thing to do is before the sales start happening, whether you're talking about the cruise or individual packages on your cruise, whatever it is, keep track of the price.
Yes.
The actual bottom dollar price, not whatever percentage off they claim it is. Keep track of the bottom dollar. That's the only way you'll know for sure whether the price is better.
Yeah. And then, if I book you and you think the price is better, it takes me about 60 seconds to confirm whether the price is better or not. Because that's the other thing too, with all these Black Friday sales. For example, every cruise line has anywhere from 3 to 8 to 10 levels of balconies. So you may see a sale on a balcony, but that's that guaranteed bottom level that's on sale. The one that I booked for you may or may not be on sale. So it literally takes me 60 seconds. Now, in terms of price checking and all of that, this is a team sport when it comes to Where's Walter Travel. I have a lot of bookings that I keep track of, and I literally get over 100 emails every single day from every travel partner that we work with. I have land companies, I have cruise partners, literally over 100 emails a day. I don't know what they think what they're trying to accomplish by sending that many emails. So I don't see all of the price drop. And let me tell you, they don't want to tell me when your price dropped. They want you to keep your booking, at where it is. So it's a team sport. So you guys are invested in your own cruise. If you will usually get an email from the cruise line saying, hey, we've got this great special going on. And then I get a note from you guys saying, hey, can you just check to see? Yeah, it takes me 60 seconds just to go in. So with the team sport with Where's Walter Travel, where more often than not, it is the client letting me know, hey, I think it's gone down. And when I go to make your final payment, I always go in and I check it just to make sure it hasn't gone down right before we make the final payment. And then we do that. So yeah. You just started with KHM and you saw somebody already started the pre-Black Fridays. Yeah. Gary, best way to find a knowledgeable, reliable travel agent. Well, I would like to think you're talking to one. I mean, it really is. It's a lot of word of mouth. It's a lot of trust. I mean, all I can tell you is that we've been in this for 2 years, and we probably booked, I don't know how many cruises we booked now. We booked a lot.
And it's always, you can try out audition.
Yeah, you can audition a traveler because there's nothing that says you got to keep them. Once you use a travel agent once, if you don't like them, you move on to another one. Whenever we get somebody who comes to us from another travel agent, I always like to make sure it's like, are you sure you want to transfer? Because, this person has worked. I know how hard we work to do these bookings and all of that. But a lot of times it's word of mouth, like cruise websites like Cruise Critic don't allow you to specifically say. But a lot of, sometimes in the Facebook groups, you will see names. We've been fortunate that we have been referred to quite a bit. And, we picked up some nice travel partners like the Sean and Stef channel, Tony and Jenny B at Lido, Loca, and Cruise RX. So we're travel partners with them. What that means is they send their referrals to us now. if you want to give us a try, I'd say give us a try. Otherwise, you just kind of ask around word of mouth. So, oh, thank you, Living Love Wild. That's a very nice thing for you to say that I'm one of the best. I appreciate that a lot.
And a good time to find out the names of travel agents is when you're on a cruise. You can ask other people that you meet, who did you use?
Yeah, that's a very good point. So,
and if they were happy with, what they got.
Exactly. So, so far, all of my reviews have been 5-star on the Travel Leaders Network side. So that's all I can tell you. And out of 5,556 agents, we're something like number 29 right now. Something like that. So anyway, so if we can help you, we'll do that. So Emily, how you doing? I hope you feel better soon. You're exhausted. I hope you feel better soon. Wow. Tammy D is saying that she had to go into the ICU because her husband had to get AFib on the second day of a cruise, but the Regal Princess stabilized him. That is fabulous. Wow. That is amazing.
Amazing medical centers. And we know this from personal experience.
Yeah. They have amazing medical centers on ship, and it is expensive. She is saying that it costs $8,500 on the ship to have the AFib done and have him stabilized. Buy travel insurance. Travel insurance 100% reimbursed. So there you go. I love it. That is the way you do it. Gary, last cruise, the line gave you a chance to upgrade the cabin. You didn't, but is that usually a good deal? Whether it's a good deal is up to you or not. There's two things to understand about bidding on the upgrades, because all the cruise lines do this now. Number one, the cabins may not even be available when you bid, because what they're banking on is one, a certain number of people are going to cancel the cruise last minute. So that's what they're doing. They're basically creating a wait list for cabins that if somebody cancels, we're going to drop you in. Number two, if they do accept your bid, it's like a guaranteed cabin. You have no say in the matter. They're going to charge your credit card immediately, and they're going to move you straight into the cabin. Now, technically, you're going to get an upgrade from wherever it is you are, but the location may be worse. So that's the thing that we always, now, if you're going into a balcony or you're going into a suite, in general, you're going to be safe there. It doesn't really matter where they put you on the ship. You shouldn't have a nightclub above or below you. You shouldn't have the theater above or below you. It shouldn't be a noisy spot. But if you're like going from, say, an interior to an ocean view or an ocean view to a partial view balcony, there could be some areas that might be a little bit worse of a location than where you are. So that's the only caveat that we warn people, is that you have no control. It's like a guaranteed cabin.
And if you have booked, say, 2 cabins right next to each other for a specific reason, like you have your teenage kids in the cabin next to you, you have no guarantee that it will stay that way, and that can cause problems with the cruise line. Wow. So if you, for a reason, have cabins next to each other, or you have an accessible cabin, you have to have an accessible cabin.
Yeah.
Don't do it, because there's too much risk that you will not get what you need.
There is a lot of risk there, and there are some very nice comments popping up on the YouTube side complimenting our services from people who have worked with us. So thank you very much, guys, for all of that. Sue and Phil, we can attest that Walter is very attentive and responds quicker than anyone else we've ever used. Thank you. I try to respond within 24 hours of every request. Sometimes it takes 48 hours for me to respond, but I try to respond within 24 hours of every request. So I try. John is offering to be our assistant. He will work for cruise bookings. I love that, John. I love that. Thank you. And I do have a dry tickle in the back of my throat, so I'm trying to drink a lot of tea. But thank you, John. And I'm gonna do one more recap on that Sun Princess group cruise. That was so fabulous meeting everybody. It has me so excited about the next group cruise. But that is one of the best things about the group cruises, is that you all see me, but I don't get a chance to meet you until we get on the ships, or maybe I run into you on the ship. So that was really, really exciting. We have over on the YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook side, I've been kind of rolling through my group cruises. So at some point, I'm going to roll through the group cruises. We have, I think, 5 or 6 that are currently booking. We have Hawaii, we have Alaska, we have a couple in the Caribbean. So I'll run through them for you folks on TikTok. But if you're watching me on TikTok, you go to my website, where'swaltertravel.com. There is a group travel link, and you'll see all of the cruises list right there. So if you want to come cruise with us, I would definitely say come along. Laura, thank you for the compliment on the backyard. We do love sitting it here. Crystal, do they ever put internet or drink packages on sale for Black Friday that you can use on a trip? Yeah. In fact, Royal Caribbean right now has Black Friday sales on all of their packages. And just like anything else, you've got to track that dollar amount. Royal Caribbean is actually the master of something going from, say, 30% off to 40% off, but the dollar amount actually slipped up by $5 because they're hoping that nobody noticed. And all they do is they just raise the base package price. So even that percentage went up.
Their packages have no actual fixed price.
No, they don't. They do a sliding dynamic scale, and the price is different on every single cruise. But I will say, one of my clients on a transatlantic just got the drink package at $47.99. You got to get it for both people in the stateroom, but it was $47.99. It's a 16-night cruise. That's the lowest I think I've ever seen Royal Caribbean have a drink package on there. We personally don't get drink packages because they're not worth it for us, except on Princess, because we get the Princess Plus, so it just happens to be part of it.
And that will not go on sale.
So, but yeah.
It does depend on the cruise line. Like
absolutely depends on the cruise line.
Princess Plus does not go on sale. Carnival has done sales before, but very rarely. Very rarely. I would say, excursions tend to be the thing that most cruise lines put on sale the most.
Yeah, and MSC, you know the big thing anymore too now it's flash sales. Like MSC, I swear, has a flash sale every weekend. Virgin Voyages has a lot of flash sales. They're doing that kind of thing now. Where like for 2 or 3 days they're having a flash sale, kind of thing. So, Texas man, how are you? Do we schedule a time with you on your website? Your wife is after you to get a schedule. That's a great question. Yes, absolutely. That is the best way to do it. We have an online calendar on our website. And you just go to the Contact Me webpage. Actually, you're watching me on TikTok. I know there's a link. If you go to the little link tree that's in my bio or in my profile, there's actually a Contact Me link. It'll take you right to that page.
And just briefly to touch on Dr. Odyssey, we have not watched that show yet. We have watched the BBC Good Ship Murder.
Yeah. But if you want to schedule a time, just go in there and find a time that's convenient for you. I don't have meeting times on Mondays and Thursdays. And if you happen to live, I think you're in Texas, but if you happen to live on the West Coast and you don't see a time that's convenient for you, just email me and I'll go ahead and set up a time. I've had meetings that start as late as midnight Eastern time because that's the best time that works for my West Coast clients. I have a lot of West Coast clients actually. So yeah, so I will, I'll be happy to meet with you. So yes, Texas man, get it set up. Get it set up. Let's do it. Terry, when are the Christmas Market River cruises? There's a very tight window. It is usually after American Thanksgiving, right up to like December 22nd, because they do shut down on the 23rd. I think 23rd might be the last night. Some of them might be open for Christmas Eve, but I think most of them will shut down on the 23rd. So it's like the week of or the week after American Thanksgiving. So it's only like a 4-week window. It's a very tight window. That's why they tend to be more expensive. Avalon, we booked a lot of people on Avalon. We booked Ama Waterways. We booked Uniworld. We even booked we booked a Viking that was a Christmas river cruise when we booked it. But then Viking came back and said, hey, after checking the calendars, not enough Christmas markets are going to be open that we consider it a Christmas market. So my clients actually got a discount. They reduced the price on it because it wasn't Christmas market, but some of them will be open. So it will kind of be a Christmas market cruise at a reduced rate. So that was actually kind of cool that happened. It just sort of worked out that way. But you got about a 4-week window to do it. And keep in mind too, you don't necessarily have to go on a cruise. We actually have land tour partners. So if you don't necessarily want to get on a river ship, you can actually do it as a land tour if you want to. There are land tours that will take you around to the Christmas market. You're going to be more limited because you're going to be in basically one area, whereas the river ship can kind of move along a little further, a little bit more conveniently because you're on your hotel floating along. But you can do it. So, okay, over here. Kurt, Walter and Rebecca are great hosts on the group cruise. You had so much fun on the Sun Princess. Thank you so much. We appreciate that, Kurt. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you guys and having dinner with you all. That was awesome. So thank you. KB403. Sackman Phil, you're welcome. We try to share as much information as we can. And that's why I even started the channel like 2.5, almost 3 years ago. started the channel, and then you all started asking me to become a travel agent, and there you go. We're a travel agent 2 years in. How was the Sun Princess? The Sun Princess, it was interesting. When the first couple of days, I was like, you know, I really like the Sky Princess more. I like the Royal class more. But as the week went on, it grew on me. I will say the dome was disappointing. It kind of came off more like a gimmick. I didn't really like the way it looked during the day because it looked like a theater, and then they had the stage down on the bottom which covered the pool. So to me, it kind of messed up the aesthetic during the day. Rebecca didn't have a problem with that.
No.
But then at night, we never did get into the show because you got to queue up about an hour early, maybe more than an hour early, just to get in to see the show. No reserved seating, and it's a very, very small space. I wasn't a big fan of the 2 original shows that we saw. Nothing wrong with them. La Viva Musica was a Latin music review show. Amazing dancers, great singers, just the show itself. And then
those were shows in the arena.
Yeah, in the arena. And then they did a show called Stage Struck, which was basically their version of a chorus line, and it was just there's no other way to describe it but awful. I felt bad for the cast having to do the show.
They were all talented.
Yeah, they were awesome. They're really good, and they were putting everything into it they could. But if you're going to do a chorus line, just do a chorus line. Pay the money, do a chorus line. They were even doing like Bob Fosse choreography, like mimicking his choreography and all that. I'm like, just do a chorus line. It's such a great show. This is not a good show. But what I really loved, I think my favorite addition on Sun Princess, that piazza was amazing. It was bigger. Something was happening in that piazza pretty much from 9 a.m. to midnight. It was just stuff going on. The other thing I loved about the piazza was things were scheduled so nothing was overlapping. So if the pianist was playing or a band was playing in crooners, there was nothing else happening. And the sound from crooners was piped into the entire place. So it was great. So no matter where you were, you could hear the band, and you could hear the band. At one point, I was getting coffee at the new coffee shop, Coffee Current, and I thought they were playing an amazing live recording of a jazz band. And when I went upstairs to the deck 8, oh, there they are. They're right there in crooners. So that because there are times on some of the other ships where there can be overlapping stuff going on, and it's kind of annoying. But they did a great job on the Sun Princess with that. The pools were lovely. Love the new Lido Eats up there. I mean, I've got so much content that I need to release on YouTube. I've got some of it on TikTok. I just haven't had the time to edit. But it really grew on me. So I would gladly go back on the Sun Princess. I hope they come up with a better seating solution for, like, what they really should do up in the dome is let everybody reserve one show, so at least everybody gets in. And then they could have a standing room. If people don't show up, then they'll let you in. But they should allow every guest on the ship to at least reserve one seat for one show so you can go see something. But overall, the ship is great, and I love the cove balcony. Oh my God, I will be sailing on the cove balcony again. I love that. So Tammy D is saying that they've rebooked the Key 3 times so far because Royal Caribbean has had a sale. Now, keep in mind, the Key is capacity control. That's one of those things that is capacity control. And when they sell out, they sell out. So the risk that you run when you cancel and rebook is that at the time you hit cancel, somebody else is booking, and that's the last slot. So that you got to keep that in mind with anything that's capacity controlled, like shore excursion, the Key, things like that. Yes, that's a good strategy. Cancel, rebook at the new rate. But just keep in mind, you could lose the Key if you just happen to be doing it at just the right time when somebody else is trying to book in and you happen to have the last slot. So, hey, good morning, Chuck. Good morning, Eric. Kurt is saying, yeah, our signal just got really weak on YouTube. Sorry about that. It'll start to come back. We're using a hardwire on YouTube to try to make it better. But sometimes it does drop off. Hey, Ocean, do I need a passport on a closed loop cruise to the Bahamas, Caribbean on MSC Meraviglia out of Brooklyn, New York? On that particular cruise, you should not need a passport at all. You should be good with your birth certificate and driver's license. We always recommend a passport because you are going to Bermuda. And if for some reason you got to be let off the ship, or the Bahamas, if you need to be let off the ship, you will need a passport to fly out of that country back to the United States. So that's why we always recommend a passport. It's like, do you need it? No. Should you have it? Yes, because when the unexpected happens, then you've got to go to the U.S. Embassy or whatever is down there and get an expedited passport so you can get back to the U.S. So that's why we always recommend it. Do you need it? No. Should you have it? Yeah, you really should. And they're good for 10 days. They're good for 10 days. So.
I know that's assuming you're a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, assuming that you're a U.S. citizen. Thank you, Eric. Eric is actually on the West Coast, and he said your first meeting with me was actually at 10 o'clock Eastern time because you're on Pacific time, and that was the best time for you to meet. So so if you're living on the West Coast and you're seeing my meeting times and you're like, oh well, his meeting times end at 6 o'clock or whatever in the evening, just write to me and we'll set up a time. I set up times by appointment, so whatever you need to do. So. Brandy, do you have to have your cruise paid off before a cruise line lets you book your shore excursion? Typically, no.
It depends on the cruise line.
Yeah.
I mean, like Virgin Voyages, the date shore excursions open and the final payment date are the same.
Yeah, happen to be the same, yeah. Usually it's a date that they're going to open, like no more than 1 year out, usually. But sometimes it'll be a date that they're going to open. Sometimes they do want you to pay in full before you can book them. It just depends, but typically
the vast majority you do not have.
Yeah, the vast majority you don't. Vast majority you don't. So, Bill Span, hello from Toronto. 412 days to the freedom of the seas. But who's counting for New Year's, December 2025? Any idea when Royal will release December 2026? Yes, I know exactly when they're going to release it, but the paper is sitting on my desk.
And it does depend on what part of the world you're talking about.
So, I have the entire schedule, the entire release schedule, but it's sitting on my desk in my office. So we have the release schedule through April of 2027, and they're rolling them out. Like the Caribbean is going to be released now, and then this one's going to be released then. They're not just releasing everything at once. So I do have it, but the paper is on my desk. So if you want to, just shoot me an email. Just shoot me an email, and I can actually send you the sheet, or I'll just send you the dates. So just shoot me an email, and I'll send it to you. Happy to do that. Aaron just got out the Carnival celebration. Fun time on that ship. Happy to report the Shack Chicken much better than Radiant and even the restaurant in LA. Good, because we had excellent chicken on the Mardi Gras.
You did?
Yes, I did. Rebecca doesn't eat chicken. So sad. It's so sad that she doesn't do that. So, hey, it's the top of the hour, so I will remind everybody that we are Where's Walter Travel, your independent travel advisor. If you're new to the channel, I invite you to like, subscribe, share, do all the wonderful things that the various social channels like you to do. And if we can help you in any way with your travels, there are links, no matter where you're watching me, there's links in the profile. There might be links in the description. Just reach out, where'swaltertravel.com. Our services are 100% free to you. We do not charge a dime for our services. And we're in the Orlando area, but our clients are nationwide. We even have a couple of international clients. Typically, we cannot book anything for international clients, but there are a couple of travel partners that do allow us to do it, and we do like to help what we can.
We can book Canadians. We have a few Canadians.
Yeah, and we do have a few Canadians as well. So yes, we can book Canadians as well. So good morning, Stacy. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for the information on the AARP gift cards. Yes. So even though Princess is gone from the AARP program for now, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Carnival, and Holland America, you can still get AARP discounted gift cards and use them to pay for your cruise. Absolutely. Keep in mind that with Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, you can only pay for your cruise. You cannot use them on the ship. So keep that in mind.
And you cannot use them for the deposit.
No, you can't use them for the deposit. Carnival, you can, though. Carnival, you can use it for the entire cruise fare.
I believe in Holland you can as well.
Yeah, I think Holland as well. Yeah. So Alex wants to know when we're going to announce our next group cruise. We're not sure yet. I mean, we've got 6 of them booking right now, so we've got quite a few.
And we have a lot of things that are coming due for us right now. So
we have 5.
It's a little difficult to have a new deposit we need to make.
Yeah. So we have 4 that we're booking, plus we have the Loca. So you know what? I'm going to run through our group cruises real quick with everybody who's watching right now. We are partners with Tony and Jenny B at La Lida Loca. We are their travel partner, and we're booking their not their very first, but this will be the first cruise out of Philadelphia in decades. It'll be sailing on the Norwegian Jewel, April 16th through the 23rd, 2026. Tony and Jenny B will be your hosts for the entire week. There will be group activities. There will be things going on the ship. And it'll all be Tony and Jenny B. Don't ask me what they're going to do yet. They're going to work that all out. And we're going to have hotel and tours in Philadelphia. So the cruise is Thursday to Thursday. So we're going to be setting up a hotel for those who want to arrive on Monday and maybe spend a couple of days in Philadelphia before we get on the ship.
Tuesday.
Yeah, or even Tuesday. So you can come out. Like I'm planning to do a food tour and a history tour. We're going to see if we can get some group stuff together. That's April 16th through the 23rd, 2026. We have approximately 260, 270 people already in the group. So if you want to come, they're going to be with a lot of really fun people. We have a Valentine's cruise sailing in this coming February 11th through the 17th, 2025. I can tell you it is one of the best group rates we have ever had on any cruise. It's a 6-night cruise on the Margaritaville Islander. Tony and Jenny B are going to be with us on that one. Just happens to be that their anniversary is in February. So they're going to come along, and they've agreed to host a meetup. We've got about 150 people coming on that one, and there will be a vow renewal led by the captain. This is Valentine's Day. So I got them to get the cap. It's included in the cruise fare. So there's no extra fee. For those of you who have either had a wedding or a vow renewal, you know, it costs money to have this done. Well, they're just going to do it for us as part of the cruise. So that is February 11th through the 17th, 2025. Key West, Progresso, and Cozumel sailing out of Tampa on the Margaritaville Islander. Then in June of 25, we are going to Alaska. We're going to go to Alaska for 12 nights on the Oceania Riviera. It is a luxury cruise line. There are only 1,200 passengers on that ship. We've got 8 ports, up to 14, 15 hours in some of the ports. So we got really long port stop. June 26th through July 8th. So we will be spending the 4th of July in Alaska. So that should be kind of cool. Our cruises include, our group rate includes the prepaid gratuities, the Prestige Select Drink Package, and you get $600 of shore excursion credit. So between the package and the rate that we have, it's about a $2,200 savings over what the rates are online. So if you want to reach out again, June 26th through July 8th, 2025. In May, we're going to be on the brand new Norwegian Aqua. That's May 31st through June 7th, 2025. Yes, that's right before the Alaska cruise. But we'll be sailing out of Port Canaveral, Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, Tortola, and Great Stirrup Cay. So you're going to get 4 stops on a 7-day cruise. That's pretty unusual for a 7-day Eastern Caribbean cruise out of Florida. Norwegian Aqua, May 31st through June 7th, 2025. We only have about 4 staterooms remaining on that, and they're probably going to be recalled soon anyway, but we still have them for the moment. And then last but not least, we are going to Hawaii, February 4th through the 20th, 2026 on the Emerald Princess. That's going to be a 16-night cruise, so 5 sea days going to Hawaii, 4 days around the island, 5 sea days coming back, and we'll stop in Ensenada. February 4th through the 20th, 2026, we'll go to Honolulu, Hilo, Kahului, Kauai, and then, of course, Ensenada. So that's our Alaska cruise. And we're planning to spend 2 or 3 days in Disneyland before the cruise. So if you want to do that, we can add that extension on as well. And I think that is everything. And then I'll also remind you that this coming Thursday night, Sarah from Azamara Cruises is coming on our show Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube. We don't do it on TikTok. We only do it over on the YouTube side, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to learn more about Azamara Cruises, tune in on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time with me and Sarah. Sarah is awesome. She is totally awesome. Okay, now I've run through it. That is all of the group cruises. So Garcia is over here. Garcia, when is a good time to buy excursion for a cruise in May? Should you wait for Travel Tuesday?
And that's relating to the Alaska cruise thing right above that.
So you're going to Alaska. With Alaska, you book those excursions as soon as you see the ones you want, because they are very, very limited in Alaska. There's not a lot of room on these excursions, so especially the ones you really want to do. If it's something like, I got to do this, you book it now. If it's something that maybe I could wait, then you wait on it. But Alaska excursions tend to sell out quickly.
And they tend to be more expensive because, frankly, the tourist season's very short.
Very short.
So the operators have to, kind of compress their time frame for making money. So they do, and they're more involved, like helicopters and whale watching and float planes, and there's all sorts of things that can be a little more pricey.
Exactly.
But I mean, there are still other things like the lumberjack show, or just some tours around town that won't be nearly that much. And those ones you may be able to wait on.
Yeah. So, basically, if you just go ahead and book, if you see something you want, you book it. That's basically how we do it. Viz, you're a family of 14, your kids, grandkids, 19. And friends. Family of 19. Our kids, you're welcome. Kids, grandkids, is it cheaper to do a group? That depends on how far in advance you're booking and if there's any group space available on the ship.
And how many actual cabins you want for those 19 people.
Right. So it just depends. Like everybody's like, oh, if I put 10 cabins together, I automatically get a group and I get a great rate. It doesn't work that way. One, there has to be group space available on the ship. Two, how far in advance are we booking? Three, which itinerary and which area are you going to? Those are the three factors that come into play. More often than not, you're not going to get a group rate, but you might get some amenities. Like you might get, say, $25 on board credit per cabin or something like that if we can put you together as a group. But all cruise lines have a limited space for groups on every single sailing. And when they've hit that number, they close it. So no more groups can be formed on that particular sailing. So it's not just an automatic thing. So that just depends. With like with Norwegian Cruise Line, if we start a group over 400 days before the sailing, we can get up to 15% off the sailing if there's space available. But that's only if we start that early. Some people come to us like 6 months out and go, hey, I want to do a group. Well, there's no more group space on the ship. I can't do anything for you. We can just go ahead and try and get you some extra amenities or something like that.
And the number of cabins that qualify as a group can vary from 5 to say 10, depending on the cruise line, with 8 being about the average. And that's cabins, double occupancy cabins.
Yeah, so it's like 16 people is the average. You need 16 berths and 8 cabins, basically, is the average.
Yeah, so. But if you have, a bunch of 4 people cabins and you only have 4 cabins, it probably won't qualify. So yeah. So you definitely want to work with a travel agent with that, so we can help you navigate. So have a good day, Brandy, if you're still here. Pros and cons of booking excursion with the line versus a third party. That's a great question. We get that a lot. So the pros with the cruise line. When you go to do the excursion, you're either going to gather as a group on the ship and all walk off together, or you're going to walk off the ship and more than likely they're going to be right there, right outside the ship waiting for you. When you book an independent excursion, they typically are not allowed in that secure area. When you get off the ship, it's kind of like an airport. So that's a secure area. So you're going to meet them outside that secure area. And in some cases, they're literally going to be waiting for you right outside of there. In other cases, you might have to walk. Like we did the Flavors of San Juan food tour in San Juan. It's about a 10-minute walk from the Sun Princess to get to where we had to meet. But we actually had to go walk and meet the guy there. It was a fabulous tour. We were full at the end of it, but we had to take it upon ourselves to know where we were going, and we had to walk over there and meet it. When you book through the cruise line, you have a return to ship guarantee, or if the ship has to leave, the cruise line will get you to the next port. A lot of people don't know that second part. They all say, oh, the ship's going to wait for me. It won't. It will wait as long as it possibly can, but there's going to be a point at which the ship has to go because it has to stay on schedule. If that happens, the cruise line will get you to the next port. So that is part of the deal. That is very, very rare.
Yeah.
But it can
happen. Something is like real. If you guys have been to the Caribbean, the road, all it takes is one small accident and that road is shut down. You're not going to go anywhere. So there is that. But if you work with a reputable third-party shore excursion, like we have Venture Shore, we've even worked with Shore Excursions Group. Both companies offer a return to ship guarantee. they also offer a don't port, don't pay. So if the ship doesn't come in, you don't even have to contact them. They will automatically refund you. So that's the same guarantee. And then booking with a third party independent is usually cheaper. Cruise lines are going to book the exact same excursion, sometimes with the same tour operator that you can book independently. And they're going to mark it up 50 to 100%. It's just straight up. They're going to take their cut. And for that, you get the convenience and the guarantee that you're going to get back. So that's really it. The con with third parties is you need to do some research. You need to make sure you're working with a reputable group, because when you walk out the ship, you're going to get all those barkers, all those carnival barkers yelling at you to do a tour. But if you don't know what you're walking into, you don't know what you're walking into. And for, there's people like, they just roll the dice. They don't care. They're going to go on whatever. The other thing about doing independent tours is we like to do the first one. So if the ship comes in,
or the earliest one we can.
Yeah, the earliest one we can, because, you usually have like say a 3 or 4 hour window on the back half. So if you are a little bit late, hey, we got 3 or 4 hours to get back. If you do the excursion that's coming back like an hour before the ship leaves, that's not a lot of time. That is not a lot of time to get back to the ship.
That's wrong, yeah. And there are times when the independent excursions can be smaller than the cruise ship ones. Yes.
So a great example of that is Harv and Marv whale watching in Juneau, Alaska. We recommend them to everybody. The maximum people on their boats is 16 people. That's it. Some of the cruise line whale watching is a double decker with over 200 people. So you get a better experience. So yeah. Marlon, have we done any special cruises? Well, we've done group cruises. I don't know if you're talking about like the Hallmark Christmas cruise or Star Trek cruise, like those themed cruises. We have not done one of those, but they look fabulous. I wanted to go on the Hallmark Christmas one. It looked great. I just saw Jonathan crowd surfing up near the pool. That was hilarious. That's the one I wanted to go on, but we have not done any of the themed cruises, if that's what you're talking about. And the thing about those themed cruises, they are much more expensive than going on the same ship. So like a 4-night cruise might be $1,000 for 2 people, but you go on the Hallmark cruise and that same cabin is like $2,700, $3,500, because you're paying for all that extra stuff that's going to happen on the ship. So yeah. Let me see. Tammy D, you're looking at taking your 100% disabled mother-in-law on a cruise. She went to Alaska 12 years ago. Only cruise. This would be Cozumel. Excited to know that wheelchair accessible because of the hubby AFib. Yes. Especially the newer ships are very accessible friendly. We have one client who actually, we sent her on the Caribbean Princess, which is a fairly new ship. And she said for the most part, she could get around really well, but she felt like when she went to the bars and things, there was no lower section. So like bartenders couldn't always see her. And I thought that was a very interesting thing to point out. So, but the newer ships do seem to have a little bit of a better accessibility, shall we say. And
maybe get one of those little flag things to put on your wheelchair.
Yeah, maybe that's why they do the flag thing. And John is going to book the Hawaii cruise. Don't tell Roy. I like it.
Surprise!
Are the upgrades worth it? Well, that is totally up to you. I mean, if you're talking about a cabin upgrade, sometimes like Rebecca and I think the only time we've done it was when we were on Virgin and we had, an inside?
An inside.
We got an insider.
I regretted it because I wanted that.
Yeah, she needs to have that hammock. So in that case, we knew it was totally worth it because Rebecca wanted the hammock. So we got the hammock. And there's really, there are some less than desirable places on like deck 14 is not the best place to have a balcony, but we would have taken it, just because we knew. So if the upgrades are worth it, that's totally up to you. Just always keep in mind that if you do bid on an upgrade and they take it, it's like a guaranteed cabin. You are assigned by the cruise line, and that's it. Wherever you go, that's where it is. So have we been on a Mediterranean cruise yet? Not yet. We've been on the Sun Princess, but the Mediterranean cruise is coming up. Alex was asking about a group. That might be a group at some point.
We are considering it once we get through the next few months. We got to get through the next few months, and then we can really.
Yeah, we have 2 very big cruises. We're going to be cruising basically the entire month of December. It's crazy. But we've not been on a Mediterranean cruise yet, but we have been on the Sun Princess, and it was a great cruise. The first couple of days, and we talked about this earlier, I wasn't overly excited about the ship, but it grew on me. And the good definitely far outweighs the negative on that ship. It's a really great ship, great crew. Love the coffee currents. But the Mediterranean, we booked a ton of Mediterranean cruises. We've done a ton of research on the Mediterranean. We've even booked land tours in the Mediterranean. We just haven't been there yet. But that will be corrected in 25 or 26. We're working on it. The plan right now is to hopefully do an ocean and a river cruise on the same trip. We're going to go over there and we want to do both. We might even squeeze in a land tour with our partner from Rero, because I really want to go see one of those. But that's coming. But if you'd like to talk about a Mediterranean cruise, we'd certainly be happy to help you. We have booked a ton of them over there, and we've really gotten to know, there's a lot of variables when it comes to the Mediterranean, because, you got the east, the west, you got the Adriatic. You've got some that even start in Southampton and swing around. There's a lot of variables that come into play, and it's like, what do you want? Plus, there's a ton of variables when it comes to the ships. Sometimes like the Sun Princess works really great, but maybe other times it'll be like an Oceana, Silver Sea, Azamara, like smaller ship, or Explora, which we're finally going on. So, so if you want to reach out, Black Friday, any good sales? They've started up. So you just got to look. People are like, any good sales? I don't know. There's like 35, 40 cruise lines that all have sales running. And so, yeah.
The only way to know if it's a good sale is if you have been tracking it.
Yeah.
The prices of whatever it is you're looking at.
Exactly.
Before the sales happen.
And keep in mind, we're in the pre-Black Friday right now. So then they can release the real Black Friday. So, yeah, everybody's running a sale. It's just some of them are good, some of them aren't. We just have to look at it and take a look at what the price was before, what the price is now. Is it a good deal? It also depends on the cabin category, because a lot of times, hey, balconies are on sale for $500. That's the guaranteed balcony. Not the one you want. You want the one that's midship up on deck 13. Well, that one's not on sale. That one is going to be whatever the price is. So that's the thing about all these sales, is you're seeing what's called the lead-in rate. So the lead-in rate is almost always a guaranteed cabin. And it is almost always the price per person per stateroom. Now, solo travelers, I haven't even talked about this, and I just see the filter. We always forget about this on TikTok. If anybody's trying to ask a question about Virgin Voyages, you got to use the letter VV. Can't use the word Virgin on TikTok. That's not us. That's TikTok doing that. So if you're trying to ask a question about Virgin Voyages, use the letter VV. So turn that off. So yeah, there are some really good deals going on. It's just whether it's the right cruise line for you. Let me drink this. Okay. Tammy D, I think Civitavecchia is a port near Rome. It is. It's 1 hour away. That's the other thing about the Mediterranean. When they say they're going to Rome, they're going to Venice, they're going to some of these places, they may not really. The only people that can actually go to Venice are the small luxury lines, and they don't actually pull into Venice. They pull it right across the harbor from it. But when Royal Caribbean says they're going to Venice, they're actually going to Ravenna, or they're going to whatever the other one is. Yeah, they're going to be like 2.5 hours away. That's the other thing about a Mediterranean cruise. You need to navigate, where's the ship actually going? It's not going to Venice. And if it says it's going to be in Venice for 10 hours, and it's 2.5 hours to get to Venice, there's 5 hours. There's half of your day gone getting to Venice and back. And somebody asked about shore excursion. See, in a situation like that, I would book a ship shore excursion, because that's going to be the first one off on the way. Going to Rome, it's 2 hours round trip. So you got to take that in mind when you're going to Rome on a port stop. So
and generally they do try and have those be very long days to account for that. But
you have to account for, especially if you use the Caribbean, you walk off the ship and you're in town. No, that doesn't happen a lot in Europe.
And that's not every port there, but quite a few of them.
Right. Rob wants to know, what's an old fashioned? Off topic, but what's an old fashioned? It is a classic drink. It is a couple parts bourbon. It is a little bit of simple syrup or muddled sugar, and typically a couple of dashes of Angostura bitters, or maybe some orange bitters in there. And a lot of people will put a black cherry in there, and some people will put a dash of Cointreau in there as well. But it's just a classic drink, basically a bourbon-based drink. It's a very easy drink to make, very easy drink to screw up. And so I use that as my litmus test every single time I go on to another ship, because it's a very basic drink. And if they can make a good old fashioned, then that's the bar I'm probably going to keep going to. Great question, though. I love it. Thank you. Alex, you're flying into Miami on January 10th. Will we be back in Orlando by then? Yeah. So here's the deal. Here's what we're doing. On December 13th, we will be boarding Explora 2. We're actually flying down to Barbados to meet the ship. We'll be on Explora 2. So Explora Journeys is a new luxury line from the MSC family, the Aponte family, who owns MSC. They are the largest shipping company in the world. They will be the largest cruise line in the world by ships very soon, because they're building so many. Explora is their luxury brand. They launched actually a year ago. Explora 1 launched, and now Explora 2 is sailing. That's the ship we'll be on. They're building 6. And every pair of ships is going to be slightly different. So, but we're going to be on Explora. The base stateroom is a 330 square foot suite. All of the suites have sea terraces, though there's no such thing as an inside or an ocean view on these ships. Pretty much everything is included except one restaurant. That's an 8-course meal.
Oh, and the cooking classes.
And the cooking classes are not included either. So we'll be on the Explora 2 from December 13th through December 20th. We're going to go from Barbados to Miami, and then on the 22nd, we will be boarding the Explora Journey for a 16-night, Azamara Journey for a 16-night Christmas and New Year's cruise. That'll be December 22nd through January 7th. So we will be basically cruising the entire month of December. The Explora thing just kind of came up. That literally came up after the show, because if you watch the show on Thursday with Kathy from Explora, she's very persuasive. She's very persuasive. And after the show, she's like, "Come on, we got to get you booked on the ship. Why don't you book on this particular cruise? I'm actually going to be on there on the 13th. It'll be perfect. I'll be there. You guys get yourself booked. I'll meet you there." And so we made the decision that night to go ahead and book the cruise, and we will be on there for a week. So hey, have a good dinner, Eric. Thanks so much for popping in. Thanks so much for watching from the ship. That's really fun. Alex was impressed by Explora. You're interested in Northern Europe or South America? Here's the thing. Explora is very solo friendly. They have solo supplements starting at 115% on some cruises, and it tops out at 175. But from what I was seeing, it was looking like 115, 125%. Was a solo supplement on a lot of these.
Currently, because they only have the 2 ships, their itineraries are much more limited. So they don't go to South America. They don't go to Northern Europe.
Not yet. They will. But
right now, their biggest is the Caribbean and the Mediterranean, with a few long journeys.
Yeah, and they have been pretty much all over the world, but it's like one-offs here and there.
Yeah.
So, but once they get to 4 ships, that's when you really start to see things change. Tammy, thanks so much for watching. Hey, if your husband wants to talk, I'll be happy to help out. The one thing that we do as a travel agent is we don't try to take over your booking. We work as a partner. This is a partnership between us and you. We don't just say, we travel agent, we tell you what to do. We work together. And I love my clients who have been doing it on their own. They do a lot of research, and it's great because I learn from you, you learn from me, and we work together, and it's great. It's just the big thing, if you've been doing it all on your own, you don't have the access to the people that I have access to. That's the biggest thing when you work with a travel agent. Like you all saw Kathy from Explora Journeys the other day. That's my contact. Anytime I need anything with Explora Journeys, she has given me her personal cell phone number. Said, you just call me anytime. Don't even email me. You just call me. So that is the one thing that anybody who has been doing it on your own, and now you're thinking about working with a travel agent, when you work with one that's really connected, and I'm very blessed that we work under KHM Travel Group. We have amazing travel partners that I have access to. So that's the one thing that you guys gain, and hopefully you can tell that I really like what I'm doing. We really have a great time. Tammy says, I sometimes have onboard credit that's not available to you. That is true. And, somebody said, oh, so the cruise lines sometimes have a better deal than you do. It actually works the other way around. We have deals that the cruise line has no access to. So any deal that the cruise line is offering you publicly, we have the same deal. But then depending on the cruise line and the time of year and what all is going on, through KHM Travel Group, through Travel Leaders Network, that we're also part of this big consortium, sometimes we have offers for things that you don't, such as Norwegian Cruise Line. I think like 3 times a year we get prepaid gratuities, free prepaid gratuities, like 3 times a year. But if you book a balcony or higher during that time, your gratuities are covered. So things like that, and sometimes we get onboard credit offers. And as a travel agency, we try, whenever we can, we try to like give a gift when you're going on a cruise. Sometimes that might be onboard credit. Sometimes it might be something in your stateroom when you show up. So that's the kind of thing that we try to do. We can't do it every single time, but we do try to do that as a thank you for working with us. So yeah. Me, I love that. Do you guys always cruise so much during December? I'd love to do that. It's not something that we've really done in the past. Usually it was Thanksgiving. So we would cruise during Thanksgiving because I love cruising during Thanksgiving, no pressure. And then for the longest time, I hosted the Feast of Seven Fishes on Christmas Eve. That was like my thing. We had up to 24 people over the house, and I would do all this cooking, and I love Christmas. I absolutely love Christmas. But last year, we've moved a lot over the past 5 years. And, we don't have that big group of friends, core group of friends as much. It's just because we moved around so much. But last year, we just decided, hey, let's go cruise for Christmas. We went on the Oceana Serena for 12 nights. It was beautiful. Especially New Year's on a ship is fabulous because you can enjoy the party, you can enjoy the great night, but you don't have to worry about driving. You don't have to worry about going home or idiots on the road. We're on the ship. It was absolutely lovely. So this time we found a beautiful 16-night itinerary from Azamara. We booked this, like 6 months ago, I think. And we booked this a while back.
I don't know.
And we found it. Yeah, maybe it was a little bit less. But it's 16 nights. It's the longest we've ever been on a ship for one cruise. So, and these 2 cruises combined is the longest we've ever been away. So
we do have 2 days in between. But...
yeah, we'll be in Miami for a couple of days. And we will be, I'll be running, office hours in the morning on sea days for sure, because both ships have Starlink. I run my business from the ships all the time. So while my office hours will be limited and there could be some issues, if the Wi-Fi is up and down, we will be fully available to our clients during that time as well. But yeah, it just kind of started happening that we just started cruising in December. So yeah. So thank you, Ocean, for the kind word. Truth be told, do we have single bookings? Yeah. No, there are solo friendly. I think I started to say it earlier and then I got distracted by something, but Virgin Voyages on Monday, they're going to have a new solo special rolling out. They're going to start out with the Scarlet Lady, but there will be a low or no solo supplement on, I think, 1 level of balcony for solo travelers on Virgin Voyages. Explora Journeys is solo friendly.
It's certain cruises, though, not
it's on the Scarlet Lady. It's like 10 cruises. And then they're going to do multiple, they're going to roll out different cruises over time as well. Solo friendly, Norwegian Cruise Line is solo friendly. Royal Caribbean actually has over 200 solo staterooms, including honest to goodness balconies out there. You just got to know which ship to look for them. So yeah, so we do book solo travelers. Absolutely we do. So cruising with Calandra, I think. You're sailing on MSC during Thanksgiving in 2 weeks. Have an amazing time. Now, my advice for anybody, if you're watching and you're going to cruise over Thanksgiving, my advice is skip the turkey meal in the main dining room. I did it one time. I did it on Holland America. It was like Piccadilly cafeteria. And, as I thought about it, I'm like, making a turkey dinner for, say, 2,000 people, not that easy to do, especially the bird. The bird's going to dry out. So if you want turkey and you want the Thanksgiving dinner, very often the buffet is doing it and they're actually carving the turkey. So it's going to be a better dinner in the buffet if you really want that. We now just go ahead and we do, I'll do a specialty dining meal then. And if I really want a turkey meal, I make a little turkey when I get home with some mashed potatoes and some stuffing and stuff like that. So if you're going to be on a ship for Thanksgiving, I would not necessarily do the main dining room for a Thanksgiving dinner. You will probably be disappointed.
Unless you're on the, like, say, smaller luxury line, but
now,
with MSC.
Now, if you're on Virgin Voyages, however, Virgin Voyages we did last year, and they served Thanksgiving dinner every single night in the restaurant, but each restaurant had their own take. So Virgin Voyages has small restaurant. I actually love Test Kitchen and Razzle Dazzle. Those are my two favorite versions of it. And I love that they served it every night. So you had the opportunity, if you wanted to do it, you could try it. And I think I definitely had two versions. I may have had a third version, but it was so cool that they did it that way. I love that. Irene, you want to plan a June 2026 cruise to Alaska? When should we start planning? About 4 months ago when they came on, when they opened up. Believe it or not, we've been booking 2026 for about 3 months now. So yeah, if you want to go, and if you want the best cabins and you want the best, especially if you're doing a one-way and you want to be on the side of the ship with the land, you need to book now. The rates are really good right now. So yeah, 2026, reach out. Let's definitely talk about it. Let's just talk about it. Cindy, you're ready for an Alaska cruise. You just booked an appointment with me. Easy peasy. Cindy, it was so great meeting you and Saul on the ship, on the Sun Princess. Can't wait till we cruise again. I try to make it as easy as possible to get a hold of me, especially with that appointment thing. There's some people who are just like, well, I don't want to schedule an appointment. It's like, well, it just makes it easier for me, especially if you fill out the information in the form. So at least I have an idea of what you're going to be calling for. People who try to call me cold, like if you try to do a cold call to me, I'm probably not going to answer the phone because it is just me and Rebecca. People seem to think this is like a big company with a whole bunch of people behind me. Right now, it's still me and Rebecca. We will be bringing on somebody sooner than later to finally start working with us. But because it is just the two of us, I really need to schedule these times because I need time. We need time to do research. We need time to do proposals. We need time to take care of our client needs. So we have things that we need to do, and that's why I don't answer cold calls. So if you call me cold, unless you're a client and I've got you on my phone and I know that you're calling me, I'm not going to answer the phone. So definitely set up the appointment. I appreciate that, Cindy. I appreciate that. So truth be told, you're welcome. Did I miss Michael? I think Michael said. Did Michael say something? I thought I saw Michael somewhere.
Yeah, he says we're the best travel agent.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. I'm so sorry I didn't say good morning. Good morning, Michael. Good to see you. Thank you so much for saying that. Really appreciate it. So Michael, cousin Leroy there on TikTok, he was our very first client. Literally within 2 weeks of us starting Where's Walter Travel, he booked with us. So Mr. McMee, you're in LAX right now, headed to Costa Rica on a work trip. Wish you were here for a cruise. So here's an interesting thing. If anybody works for a corporation, we just booked a national sales meeting on the Margaritaville Islander. They're bringing, I think they're bringing 85 people on the ship, and it was so much more cost effective to do it on the ship than it is on land. So, if any of you are working in companies that host these incentive trips or corporate trips or meetings or whatever, consider a cruise ship. Because like a lot of times the meeting spaces are included in the cruise fare, which is a lot of people are like, wait, what? And a lot of times the AV that's in the room is included in the cruise fare as well. You just need to pay for them to set it up and hook it up and all that good stuff. But hey, have a meeting on a cruise ship. You can combine it. So Emily, can you still work with a travel agent if you have already paid for your cruise in full? Great question. The answer is no. The answer, if you book a cruise with a deposit and you booked it directly with the cruise line, you have a window that you can transfer it to a travel agent. It can be as little as 14 days. It can be as much as 60 days, depending on the cruise line and their rules. Once you have paid in full, you cannot transfer it to a travel agent at that point. So yeah. And if you're wondering, you can always just reach out to us. We can get you the information. So Irene, thank you. Yeah, please do reach out. I love it. Cousin Leroy, 146 days until your third cruise and your first Virgin voyage. I can't wait. Oh man, I can't wait to see what you and your mom think of that thing. Oh my gosh. Willie B, we're going to see you in May on the Norwegian Aqua. That's right. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Michael and his mom are going to go on only their third cruise ever, and they're going on Virgin Voyages. So I tried to prepare them, get them ready for this. You guys are going to have a blast. There's, oh my God, you're just going to eat so good on that ship. If you've not been on Virgin Voyages, I hear people, you know, and I see this all the time in some of the groups, you know, is Virgin like crazy and wild as they say? Is it just nuts? I don't know what y'all are expecting when you go on Virgin Voyages. I know that most of the blogs concentrate on two things. They concentrate on Scarlet Night, which is the craziest party at sea. It's one of the most fun parties at sea, but it's one night. And the Diva. They love the Diva. You know, I don't know if there's any other cruise line that has a drag queen on the ship. Depending on who it is, they can be absolutely hilarious. I tend to like a woman named Carlos. We've had Carlos. Carlos can be a bit raunchy. Carlos can be a bit raw, but that's Carlos.
And we are talking an adults only ship.
An adults only ship, yeah.
And if you don't want to be at events with Carlos, you
don't go to those events. Yeah. So Virgin is actually a very cool, very chill ship. The biggest knock for me is honestly the pool. They put a postage stamp pool on that ship. I don't know why, but they did. But if you're somebody who just likes to cruise, you enjoy good food, you like good cocktails, you really enjoy socializing with your fellow guests, that's Virgin Voyages. Virgin Voyages is a fabulous cruise line. So, Emily, you're going on the Regal Princess at the end of March and flying out to LA a couple of days early. That's fabulous. You needed some direction on car rental versus Uber and taxi. I would never rent a car in LA. That's all I'm going to tell you. LA, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, maybe, but oh God, no. You couldn't pay me enough to rent a car and drive in LA. Not a chance in heck. I would definitely use Uber, taxi, anything but a car. I mean, if you're going out a couple days early, I would do some research, like on the hotel. Like we're going to go out a couple days early for our Hawaii cruise, but we're going to go to Disneyland. So we're just going to be kind of self-contained in there. If you're thinking about going around and doing things, I definitely would have picked a hotel that put me in a spot that made it easier. Like some people are like, well, I'm going to get convenient to the cruise. But that takes you way out of LA. And now you got to keep driving into LA to do things. Whereas if you really want to do things in LA, get yourself in a spot where either you can do some walking or a short lift to get to places. And then, it's a longer ride to get to the cruise port. But, once you get to the cruise, you're on the cruise. So, but yeah, if it's me, I'm like, don't rent a car. But truth be told, is that cruise date filled? I'm sorry, I don't know which cruise you're talking about. If you want to put it in there, Rebecca, if you see it, but I apologize. Or if you just want to put it in there, I'm not sure which cruise date you're talking about. Kathy, you had a rental in Fort Lauderdale. It wasn't that bad. Fort Lauderdale is not that bad. Miami's a little nuts. I've driven around Miami, but Miami's a little nuts.
Virgin certainly wouldn't. Like the people who rent cars and drive in Italy, that's nuts.
Yeah, that's nuts. Virgin Voyages in May. I'm not sure which sailing. We don't have anything in May.
Maybe the solo stuff?
If you're asking about the solo things, that is a selection of cruises that will start on sale Monday. So Virgin Voyages will start a selection of cruises on sale for solo travelers. Basically, they have solo inside. They have solo sea views all the time, but they're going to offer solos balconies with either little or no solo supplement, and that will be on sale starting Monday. They're going to start with the Scarlet Lady. I believe they are all Mediterranean cruises, so you'd have to check on Monday. But we don't have any groups on Virgin Voyages in May. Michael, if you saw Michael talking about going on Virgin Voyages earlier, that's him and his mom. They're going on the cruise. So we booked them on that. So, Emily, so if your hotel is near the port, you're going to be doing some driving to get into LA proper to go do things. Just keep that in mind. So, again, I wouldn't be doing that driving. Nope. I wouldn't. But definitely look. Right now, what I would do, like literally before you go, start Googling the distance. Like, what do you want to go do? Google direction from your hotel to wherever it is so you can kind of have an idea keeping in mind that, a 20-mile ride could be an hour to 2 hours, depending on traffic. We used to get that in Atlanta all the time, where you never knew if the ride was going to take 35 minutes or 2.5 hours, and it'd be the same drive, just depending on the traffic. So, Gary, is it too late to get on the Princess Hawaiian group cruise? No, it doesn't sail until February of 2026. So if you'd like to join us, in fact, I'll pop that back on. I'll pop that back on the YouTube side as well. But that's February 4th through the 20th, 2026. The interesting thing about it, yeah, absolutely. Truth be told, go ahead, set up an appointment with us. Be happy to walk you through what all the options are with Virgin Voyages. But with the Princess Hawaiian Group Cruise, honestly, here's the weird thing about Princess. Their group rates are often not that great. Very often the public promo, whatever's going on, it's actually better than the group rate. And what's really cool about Princess, we can book you in that rate and just bring you straight into the group. It's super easy to do it. So Princess gives us a lot of flexibility of we just book you with whatever the best rate is. And we're adding onboard credit. I can't remember, $50 onboard credit?
I think it's 50.
I think it's 50 onboard credits what we're
For the
offering.
cabin.
So yeah, for the cabin. So it's February 4th through the 20th, 2026. So it's 16 days. It's going to be 5 days from LA to Hawaii. Then we go to Honolulu, Hilo, Kauli, Kauai, and then we have to stop at Ensenada on the way back as legally required. So it'll be 10 sea days total, which is what we're really looking forward to. It's going to be almost like a transatlantic crossing because it's going to be so many sea days. It's going to be really awesome. But yeah, if you want to join in, we still have balconies, we still have inside, we have ocean views, and we have suites available on the ship. And we are planning to spend, 2 or 3 days in Disneyland before. The Disneyland hotels are not up for sale yet at that time. So sometime next year, early next year.
So it can be anywhere between January and June. So
anytime between January and June, those will come up. So yeah, so if you want to come with us, Gary, definitely reach out. We would love to have you come on the ship. We actually have an aft balcony. We got ourselves a balcony right on the aft because I love looking at that wake. I just love looking out at that wake. So that's like my thing. So that's where we're going to be. You're going to find me out there a lot during the cruise because that's one of my favorite things to do is just to sit out there and enjoy the wake for that view. So yeah, so if you want to go, that'd be awesome. Kathy, you drove from Orlando with a rental to Fort Lauderdale, and it was good. See, if it was me, I'd do the Brightline. As long as Taylor Swift isn't in town and they haven't jacked up the rate to $250. But if I don't have to drive from Orlando to South Florida, I don't drive anymore. I take that Brightline train. We're going to be doing the Brightline. Actually, we were going to be doing the Brightline to Miami for Azamara, but now we're flying to Barbados instead, and we'll be taking the Brightline home from Miami up to Orlando.
Yes.
But yeah, if I don't have to drive to South Florida, I don't drive to South Florida. So Emily, this is your first cruise. Oh, in March. That's exciting. That's really, really exciting. Have an amazing time. Welcome to the cruise family. Cheers. We've been cruising almost 20 years. Almost 20 years now. So and we just absolutely love it. We absolutely love it. So yeah, so if we can do anything to help you in the future, just reach out. Our services are 100% free, but I'm so glad that you're set, you're ready to go. This is going to be awesome. Cousin Leroy, did I see the new Floridian line train from Chicago to Miami? I did not. I've taken the train from the Hudson Valley, New York, all the way down to Orlando in the past. That's a lovely train ride. So no, I did not see that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool if they're running that line. That'll be a really nice alternative to flying from Chicago, like if you don't want to fly. And, sometimes it's nice. Yeah, flying is great. Sometimes it's nice to actually see the country as you go. And it really is pretty. It really is pretty. So, Barbara, you can't wait for Margaritaville. 2 of your friend couples have joined us through you. Oh, that's so awesome. I love it. Thank you, Barbara. I love it. I love it. I love it. Spunky, how do I stay fit when sailing so much? I'm not necessarily fit. I don't work out. I keep saying I'm going to start walking. And I'm just so busy right now. So yeah, I don't really stay fit. One thing I do though on a cruise ship is I try not to take the elevators as much as possible. I use the stairs as much as possible. Now, if I'm on deck 5 and I got to get up to deck 17, probably going to take the elevator. But I try not to use the elevator as much as possible. That's what I do. So, oh, that's cool. $99 on average for a ticket from Chicago all the way to Miami would stop along the way. Holy cow. I mean, that's cheaper than us getting from Orlando to Miami. That's really good. But I'm curious, how long is that train going to take? Because that sounds almost like it's almost like a local with so many stops along the way. But gosh, for $99, as long as you time it right, you can get to Miami in time. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. That'll be a lot more comfortable than taking the flight. 48 hours to get there. 48 hours on a train. If you're in a comfortable seat, again, you're going to have beautiful views. We did New York to Orlando overnight, because I remember we left in the afternoon and we got down here to Orlando like early afternoon. So probably like a 24-hour ride from New York, hour ride to get down here. So that's not bad. But for $99, if you can do 2 days on the train, that's not bad. I wonder what it would cost to like maybe do a 24-hour train or something like that. How much more it would be. But that's pretty good. Thanks for bringing that up, Michael. That's awesome. I have not seen that. I actually had one client. We priced it. They wanted to do an Alaska cruise and take the train all the way back to Florida. And we set it all up. We got it all figured out. They were going to do the Rocky Mountaineer. They were going to do the Via train all the way across Canada. And then they were going to do Amtrak straight down from Newfoundland, I think. They were going to pick up, they were going to go from Newfoundland down into Penn Station and then pick up Amtrak and come all the rest of the way. So yeah, we actually had the train set up. It was going to be a beautiful train ride. Then they decided not to do it. The wife was like, no, I just want to fly.
That would be me.
Yeah. The wife was like, no, I want to fly. And he was tempted to just go ahead and do it anyway. But yeah, so that is entirely possible. And the thing about doing the train is you do truly get to see the country, which is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, that's really, really, really nice. So yeah, and there are some people out there. If you go on YouTube and you look up Amtrak, there's one couple in particular. I can't remember their name, but they do a lot of Amtrak on YouTube. So if you really want to see, the Amtrak and the trains and what the various cars are like, you can search for that on YouTube. There's some really good, just like we have really great, cruise vloggers like Tony and Stephanie out there. You can find some really good vloggers going on Amtrak trains that give you like the real lowdown on what's going on there. So that's great. Yeah. Batman, you're right. You and your wife were on Carnival last week on the cruise, and we always take the step. Yep. You got to try to take the stairs as much as you can. I mean, I know some people just can't do it, and that's fine. But if you're physically able to do the stairs, do it.
My knees are kind of shot at this point, but I still do it. Definitely 2 flights. I'll do 3 or 4, maybe, depending on how early in the day it is.
Yeah.
But I definitely can't take them as much as I used to.
Right, but if you're physically able to do the stairs, I definitely encourage you to do that.
I think on this big, long spate of cruising, I'm going to have to bring workout clothes and actually go to the gym.
I think so. Maybe bring your little poles so you can walk around some more. No, all right. But yeah, I think we're going to do more than visit the gym on these cruises. I always say, yeah, I go to the gym, I look at it, it's very nice, and I go on. But I think this time I'm going to have to look at it and then actually use the gym. Because
you don't really like that kind of stuff.
I don't like the machines and all that. I like to walk, so I'll definitely be walking on the track and walking around and all of that good stuff. But I'm not a big person. Although I like rowing machines. We actually have one. We don't really have space for it, but I do like rowing machines. So maybe if they got a rowing machine, I can use that.
They should.
They should. So, but yeah. So, and I do want to remind everybody one more time that this coming Thursday night, I've got the amazing Sarah coming on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to learn about Azamara cruises, they have 4 ships, just under 700 passengers each. It's a lovely, lovely cruise line. And if you want to learn about Explora Journeys, go watch the replay from last Thursday. Explora Journeys is an up-and-coming luxury line. Absolutely amazing. Go to our YouTube channel, Where's Walter Travel, and watch the Explora Journeys video. It was an amazing hour. She did a great job. But Sarah's coming on this Thursday to talk about Azamara, which is another one of our cruise. We're exploring 2 brand new cruise lines this year, Azamara and Explora. So excited. Plus we had Margaritaville, so 3 new cruise lines in 1 year. So that's awesome. I love exploring new cruise lines. That has been our thing ever since we started cruising. It's just, bouncing around the various cruise lines to try them. We've never been loyal to any one cruise line. I think we have the most points for Princess because I think we cruise with them the most, but it's not because we're being loyal. It's just because we like the ships. And
Princess and Celebrity are where we're at the highest level. And even then, Princess, we're finally at a level where we're like the second level from the top. So we're starting to get
exactly. Joe said the cycle class on the Sun Princess was great. I think, Joe, you were there every single morning, which, hats off to you. That is very, very impressive. And I think your other half was taking multiple classes during the day. So hats off to you for that. That's absolutely amazing. So, let's see. Sue and Phil. I think that's them. Grounded Life Travel.
Yes, that is them.
That is them. Thank you, Sue and Phil.
I don't remember the name.
Grounded Life Travel on YouTube. That's where all the Amtrak videos are. Grounded Life Travel. Thank you, Sue and Phil.
They also have a separate cruise channel as well.
Yeah, they have a cruise. They do a good job with cruises as well. But Grounded Life Travel.
They're one of the few people that seem to have really good Amtrak information.
Yeah. So they go on a lot of different Amtrak rides. They do the long ones, the short ones. They try all the different cars. So yeah, they do a great job with Amtrak. So let's see. Trying other things. You can't wait to see the Nurse Tara can't wait to see the comparison between Azamara and Explora Journeys. Me too. I can't wait to see the difference.
I think the real interesting, that'll be an interesting, but comparing Oceania to
Azamara, yeah.
We're literally going to be on the same ship.
Yeah.
It's a different configuration slightly, but it's the same ship that we were on with Oceania.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, there used to be a cruise line called Renaissance, and they built 8 ships. And when they went under, and they're called the R-class ship, I think, for Renaissance. But when they went under, Azamara bought 3, Oceania bought 4, Princess bought 1, and then now Azamara has the 8th one. Azamara actually has the newer of the 8 ships. So that's going to be interesting. But we went on the Oceania Serena last year, which is an R-class ship. We're going on the Azamara Journey this year, which is a sister R-class ship. But Azamara has done the ship up completely differently. For one big difference is Azamara, no casino. Oceania, casino. I personally think no casino is going to be my preferred way because the casino is so small on the R-class ship. It's just kind of there because people want it. But it's not really a great space. So I'm actually really happy to see what it looks like without it. Plus, Azamara has a few more, they've kind of set up a few more dining venues around the ship. So that'll be interesting to see. So
and they technically carry more passengers because one, they added a few spa cabins that Oceania doesn't have.
Yeah.
And Oceania has a bunch of cabins that are classified as solo.
Right.
Whereas Azamara does not.
Azamara does not have specific solo cabins, but they do solo supplement specials is what they do. So, hey, good morning, Rick. How are you? Truth be told, what port they leave out of, I'm not sure which one you're asking about. If you're asking about Explora or Azamara, they leave out of about 30 different ports around the world, depending on the cruise. We're going to be sailing out of Miami on Azamara and out of Barbados on Explora. We're actually going to take the Explora from Barbados up to Miami. Going to spend 2 days in Miami, and then we get on the Azamara Journey where we go back to Barbados and then back again. It's going to be 16 days.
See if Rihanna's home for Christmas.
Yeah, we'll see if Rihanna's home for Christmas down in Barbados. We'll go check. We'll go say hi. We'll go knock on the gate and say, hey, Rihanna, we're here. How you doing? Good to see you.
Make some cookies.
Yeah, make some cookies. We'll bring them to her. Barbara, you looked at the Explorer 2 out of Barbados. Awesome itinerary someday. Yeah, they have some great itinerary. The one thing that Explorer, and this is Kathy and I talked about this on Thursday night, was they really wanted to be different and it's, it's hard to be different, right? There's so many cruise lines. There's only so many ports. There's only so many ways you can put things together. But they did set up some really interesting itineraries with ports that I've not seen on any other itinerary, especially over in the Mediterranean. There are some ports in Italy. I think there were some ports in Greece. There were like some ports I've not seen on other itineraries. So they're trying to like really curate a different feel on the ship, a different type of experience. And I also love that they don't call them staterooms. They don't call them cabins. They actually, I mean, the official term is suites, but they call it residences. They feel like the ship should be a home. When you're on the ship, you're home. That's the feeling you should get when you come on the ship, is that you're coming home. You're not, stepping onto a cruise ship. You're not going into a resort. You're actually coming home. You're coming to a beautiful, beautiful home. And that's how they treat it. That's how all the rooms are treated. So you're going to be blown away when you see our stateroom, because it is literally the entry-level stateroom. It's 330 square feet. It has heated marble floors in the bathroom. Okay.
To me sounds horrible, but
yeah, but it has heated marble floors. It has a beautiful marble bathroom. It has, and this is literally the base level stateroom. We can't get anything below this one.
Yeah, and if you get the top level stateroom, it's twice as big as our home.
Yeah, the owner's residence is 3,500 square feet or 3,000 square feet.
Over twice the size of our current house.
So, and what's really cool is Kathy's actually going to be on the ship. It was great that she's going to be on the ship, and she has offered to take any staterooms or any suites that are not booked. Oh, this is the other thing about Explora. They can hold up to 900 people, but they try not to book any more than 700. Isn't that interesting? They have suites that can hold up to 900 people, but they try to cap it around 700. They purposely don't. And here's one of the reasons why they do that, because you might show up at the terminal and say, you know what? I'm in an ocean terrace, but I'd really like to move up to a penthouse. Here's a penthouse. They actually try to keep staterooms available so you can upgrade at the terminal if you want to. And also it just keeps the capacity down so there's not as many people around the ship. So I think it's a really great idea. So you're going to see all of that in December. It's going to be amazing. What about a Bliss cruise? Marlon, that's a great question, and it's a perfect time because our friend Tony is on the Norwegian Bliss right now. He's in the Haven. He was invited by Norwegian to come on the ship. He literally, I think it's getting on the ship today or yesterday. So he's literally getting on the ship. Now, we booked people on the Norwegian Bliss that used to have 6 for the show, which was a great show. Our friend Stephanie was like, it's probably the best version of 6. She's seen it in 3 different places.
Including the West End in London. Yeah,
including the West End in London. She said the 6 that was on the Bliss was the best one she had seen. We booked people on the Bliss. That is a Breakaway
Plus.
Plus.
Anymore, by the way.
Yeah, it's a Breakaway Plus class ship. It's got the racetrack up on top. Stephanie said it was one of her favorite. Like, we've been on the Getaway and the Escape, which are Breakaway class, but they're not Breakaway Plus with the racetrack up top. Stephanie said it could be her favorite Norwegian ship, just because the restaurants and everything that are on there. So we have booked people on the ship. People have had a great time on that ship. We haven't been on it personally, but I know Tony is there right now, and he's in the Haven. And I'm really looking forward to seeing his experience, because he always picks on us for going on like Oceana and Osmar. He's like, you're going on fancy ships. And I'm like, oh, Tony, you're going on a fancy cabin now, aren't you? So I've been picking on him since I found out he was going to be in the Haven. I just thought that was hilarious. But yeah, so the Bliss is a great ship. It's a Breakaway Plus. It's a great ship. We have not personally sailed, but you can go on there and watch him do that.
And really, I get that some people appreciate heated floors.
Oh yeah.
Let's just say I have very, very hot feet, and we lived in Connecticut once, and even in the middle of winter, I very rarely even wore socks with my shoes because my feet are hot constantly.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just weird.
Yeah, Gary, if I book a room and then can't go, can I sell it or give it to someone else? You can't sell it to anybody else. No. Most cruise lines allow you to change one person in the stateroom. There could be a change fee involved, but they will allow you to change one person. You can't sell it to somebody else. There's actually like online forums where people are like selling cabins back and forth. I wouldn't get involved with that at all. If somebody wants to pay you directly, like for whatever, like let's say you paid $500 deposit and somebody wants to give you that $500 deposit, that's between you and them. But we can change one name. So if there's 2 people booked in the cruise, I can change one name. And once I change that one name, I can't change, like I can't then change the other person. That's it. We get to change one person.
Because one person from the original
booking must stay there. Virgin Voyages is the only exception. We can change both people in the stateroom. Now, depending on the policy of the cruise line, it might actually be better just to cancel. Norwegian, Princess, Holland America, they all allow you to get a full refund up until final payment. So sometimes that's easier. So yeah. Okay. Do you have friends in Minnesota who would agree? That's funny. Fair enough. What's the average change fee and deadline? Average change fee is $100 per person. Like Royal Caribbean charges that. But if we're just simply changing somebody in a cabin, sometimes there isn't a change fee. I think Carnival does charge a fee just to change the name. If I recall correctly, it might be $100, $125. But like Royal Caribbean, if you change ship and sail date, that's $100 per person. Virgin Voyages, if you change ship and sail date, no harm, no foul, as long as it's 45 days out from the cruise. So it all just depends. It all depends. So what about the Bliss Cruise theme couples only that is going on? I don't know anything about theme couples that are going on or anything like that. They do have theme nights on Norwegian. I can tell you that, but I don't know about theme couples. Yeah, 100 is not bad. Folks, it's now 12 o'clock Eastern, or that's past 12 o'clock Eastern time, and I've got appointments coming up at 1 o'clock. So we've been at this for an hour and a half. So if you enjoyed this, hey, come on at 10:30. We're live every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time for an hour and a half. I will remind you that Sarah from Azamara Cruises is going to be with us on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time on our YouTube channel. I encourage you to come over. It's so great that these travel partners come on. It's your chance to ask questions directly to the cruise line or the travel partners. So certainly come on Thursday night. And then we will be right back here next Sunday. We'll be here. And yeah, we'll be here the following Sunday. We're going to be running down. We have a 2-night seminar at sea on the Resilient Lady, November 21st through the 23rd. So we're going to be able to, that'll be our 3rd lady ship. So I'm really excited about that. So folks, thanks so much for joining us for another Sunday Cruise Chat Live. I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. If we can help you in any way with your travel, just reach out. where'swaltertravel.com. Wherever you're watching me, there are links, profiles, all that good stuff. So thank you so much for joining us on another Sunday morning. And wherever you are in this amazing world, have an awesome, awesome day.